Size Super Simple Recipes number 8. Puffy pizza. I've been a bit remiss and I just assume that everyone knows what everything is, so I'm going to show you a couple of quick things. Egg wash. Crack your egg into your cup. Beat your egg. Add a drop of milk. And that is a basic egg wash, which we can brush onto pies, pastries, whatever. But we're only going to use a bit, but that won't go to waste. Once you've done your egg wash brushing over, add some salt and pepper to that, stick it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, and you've got enough scrambled egg for scrambled egg on toast. Job done. The second quick thing I want to try and show you is sort of pesto. You can buy green pesto in almost any of the supermarkets nowadays. Traditionally it's made with pine nuts, cashew nuts, garlic, basil and Parmesan cheese, but I haven't got half of those ingredients, so I make myself a sort of pseudo pesto. So what I've got here is some fresh basil and oregano out of my herby garden. There's also some oregano blossoms in there, and we're going to give that a bit of a chop up. If you've got a little blender and you want to make up enough in one go of this, it will go in a blender and then pop it in a sealable jar, and it will keep in the fridge for quite a long time. But we're only making up enough at the moment for to show you. So I've got one of these things. I don't even know what it's called actually, but the only thing I've ever actually used it for is to make pesto. So I don't know who bought it for me, when or why, but we're going to get all of our bits of leaves into that. And like I say, it's not a full blown pesto, but because it's all fresh herbs, and you can buy fresh basil in the supermarket and fresh oregano, the flavours are great. So we're going to give that a wash of a little bit of olive oil. Oh, that's probably enough actually. And a very lazy chopped garlic. Fab invention, because you don't want to be backing about. Unless you really have to. In goes the ball, on goes the lid, and then you shake like mad. The worst bit is scraping it all out of the container once you're done. And there you've got a rough pesto, which will go nice on our pizza. Job done. So let's talk about pizza bases. I've never been a big lover of deep pan or those big crust pizzas. It's personal choice. I prefer thin and crispy. And my friend Emma has given me a really excellent pizza dough recipe which makes great pizzas. But now and again I like something a little bit different. So also we need to use up stuff. So what we're going to use up is the very last of the sheet of puff pastry that we used to make the pie and the chocolate puffs. Now it's not a normal choice for a pizza, but it's really enjoyable. I worked in Italy for a while, and most of the street vendors there who made thin and crispy pizzas, basically they were tomato, mozzarella and basil, and that was it. And they're great. If you want to pile these up with toppings, that's entirely up to you. And I'm not even going to get into the ham and pineapple on a pizza debate. But I would recommend that if you do put meats on these, that they're pre-cooked meats, like ham, pre-cooked meatballs, those kind of things, because the time it takes to cook the pizza isn't long enough to cook raw meat. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to score, and I don't mean cut through, I mean score the puff pastry, and I'm going to allow an edge of about an inch maybe. You can make it smaller or make it larger, it's up to you. And that's two reasons. One is to mark it out, but also it'll help the areas that's actually going to puff. Then we get the egg wash that we've just made. And we're going to brush that 1 inch section with a bit of our wash. Don't need to be too fancy with it. That'll help to make the edges of it rise. I love these because they end up all flaky and crunchy. The kids would love them. They make them messy because you get crumbs everywhere, but who cares? And they're quite quick, and it also means I haven't had to piss about making the pastry. Then here's the passata that we made yesterday, and I'm going to use that as my tomato base. And we just want to smear that over, out towards the edges. Doesn't have to be exact, and you don't want a great big huge deep pile of this. You want enough to cover the base to the edges. And like I say, it's a fairly rustic style of pizza, so you don't have to be too exact, which is good because I never am. Wow, that tomato base tastes excellent. So I've got some buffalo mozzarella. We're just going to slice a few pieces off of there. Let's start laying those on. Now they will spread as they cook, so don't take them right to the edge or we'll be pretty knackered. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. There's some mozzarella, and then finally we've got our rough pseudo pesto I'm gonna just lay some of that in the gaps. Because this is just a simple one that we've made up, it's not as overpowering as the pestos that you'll get in the supermarket, so you can be a bit generous. It's the colour as well that you want, the traditional red, white and green pizza colours. And I'll put a little bit on the mozzarella, touch more, some there, a bit there. Now, quick dust of salt and pepper, and that's as far as I'm going to go with this one. But obviously you could add some meat or tomato or peppers or pimentos or anything you like really, and that goes into a hot oven, well, into a 180 to 200 oven, and it will be done in about 20 minutes. We'll see what we get, eh? Okay, it's been in for 20 minutes, let's see what we've got. The only reason I cook it on the parchment is to prevent it from sticking. That's normally not too bad. And there we are. Puff pastry pizza. Job done.